Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Metropolis Radio. Today we are talking about John Woo, and more specifically, this article from Screen Rant here, how John Woo's new no-dialogue movie is still epic, according to Star. Star Joel Kinnaman discusses the experience of shooting John Woo's upcoming no-dialogue action movie and assures fans that it will be epic. Joel Kinnaman, star of John Woo's upcoming action film Silent Night, says that the movie is still epic even though it features no dialogue. Woo, who hails from Hong Kong, is one of the most important filmmakers working in action cinema today. That I do agree. The director is responsible for hits like Face Off, that was with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. Hard Boiled, that is a really good movie. That's Chow Yun Fat. Red Cliff, A Better Tomorrow, and Mission. I would not put Mission Impossible 2 in there because many people consider Mission Impossible 2 to be the black sheep of the franchise. So I would replace Mission Impossible 2 with The Killer. The Killer is a far better movie. Another movie with Chow Yun Fat. If you've never seen it. But another thing that they aren't talking about is the fact that John Woo was the guy that started the whole gun fu genre with movies like The Killer and Hard Boiled. You know, John Woo was doing this like 20 years before the John Wick people started doing it, but then no, every normie conformie on the planet has to say that John Wick started the gun fu genre when no, John Woo was doing that shit in the late 80s and early 90s. It's just the John Wick people repurposed John Woo's ideas. That's all they fucking did with it. I can't stand Normie conformies trying to educate me about the history of fucking action movies, despite the fact that I've been to action movies all my fucking life. Anyway, enough of my tangent. Although renowned for his contributions to action cinema, Woo hasn't made a film since 2017's Manhunt. Little is known about Woo's upcoming film Silent Night, but it is expected to tell the story of a grieving father who seeks revenge on a ruthless gang on Christmas Eve. Woo previously revolutionized action cinema by incorporating intricate sequences of slow-motion shooting and fighting, but his latest film looks to take this style to an entirely new level by featuring nothing but action with no dialogue. Not much is known about Kinnaman's character Godlock, but the actor is no stranger to action filmmaking, having starred in The Suicide Squad, RoboCop, they're talking about 2014's RoboCop, which was god-fucking-awful, and Run All Night, another one that was god-awful. That was Liam Neeson and Ed Harris. It's every Liam Neeson action movie made post-Taken. In addition to Kinnaman, Silent Night stars Kid Cudi, Catalina Sandino Moreno, Vinny O'Brien, and Yoka Hamamura. In a new interview with Collider ahead of the release of For All Mankind Season 3, in which he also stars, Kinnaman discusses Silent Night and the challenges associated with acting in a movie with no dialogue. The actor explains that the plot is relatively simple, but overall it is a, quote, dynamic action movie with a lot of heavy drama. Kinnaman recognizes that Silent Night is a cinematic experiment, but assures fans it felt pretty damn epic while he was shooting it. And here is what Joel Kinnaman said, fully quote, "It was the perfect kind of script to try this sort of cinematic experiment. It's a very dynamic action movie with a lot of heavy drama, but the actual plot is pretty simple. And I think you really want that in a film where you don't have any dialogue to explain to the viewers what's happening. So I think it's going to be pretty easy to follow, and hopefully you'll get all the emotion just through the eyes and through the action, and I hope it's going to be pretty damn epic. That's what I felt like when we shot it. While there are plenty of movies that feature relatively little dialogue, like A Quiet Place, Drive, or Hush, audiences will be hard-pressed to find one with no dialogue at all, save for movies from the silent era of film. Considering his action movie credentials, however, Woo certainly seems up for the task, and Kinnaman's comment suggests that the movie will feature plenty of standout action to make up for the lack of dialogue. Without dialogue, as Kinnaman's comment suggests, his role as an actor is almost more difficult, with only his eyes and his actions used as tools to convey emotion. It remains to be seen how the quote-unquote cinematic experiment of Silent Night will actually turn out, but if Kinnaman's comments are anything to go by, it sounds like it will be an epic experience for audiences. Most of Woo's best action sequences, such as those found in Mission Impossible 2 or Hard Boiled, are very light on dialogue, so in many ways, fans of the director might already have a good idea of what to expect from his latest film. Audiences still have a while to wait to see it for themselves, however, with Silent Night not expected to release until 2023. And all I'm going to say is this. An action movie with no dialogue, I could see it working, but I could also see it backfiring quite badly, especially if you don't make the narrative crystal clear without dialogue. Now, it goes without saying that action movies and plot really don't go hand in hand. Most plots to action movies are paper thin at best. It's either rescue the kidnapped person, bring down the drug cartel, bring down corrupt government official. What I think I pretty much touched on all the bases. I'm probably leaving out some, but that's a majority of what action movies are. And if you're gonna expect casual audience to go in and understand what a traditional action movie is, that I don't see that as a winning combination. Like I said, you have to make the plot crystal clear without any sort of dialogue. Why don't you have like a news brief in like the very beginning of the movie that pretty much just sets the stage, and then you get right into the action, and that's where you set off the movie. I could see that working, but pulling off an entire movie without dialogue that isn't from the silent film era, I'm not going to come outright and say that it's a complete failure because because remember, the movie WALL-E, there is not a single line of dialogue spoken for the first 40 minutes of that movie, and that is still widely regarded as one of the best movies that Pixar has made. So it could work, but I do have my reservations. And guys, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it right there. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much for doing so. And if you've been following me long enough, you know I'm terrible at ending these videos, so I will just see you guys next time.